Squaddies, hello, 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 hello. How are you all doing? I hope you're all doing well. I just woke up from sleep because it's a bank holiday weekend. I'm not doing anything until afternoon. Yep. And I wasn't really online yesterday because I had a number of things to do. I have some oil on my face. And I started going through the timeline this morning, guys, and my eyes just kept on getting wider about this Archewell Milwaukee women's group issue. I won't even call it issue. Archewell withdrew their funding, and I believe that the lady that runs it decided to use her platform and the negativity Harry and Meghan gets to push back. I'm not sure how or why she thought this would work, but well, we're here. And I've also found out some very frustrating things about some of the people that I genuinely thought were neutral with their reporting with Harry and Meghan, but I'm beginning to agree with some of the squad. The way they have chosen to react to this news and the lack of objectivity and the lack of wait before you respond that they have rushed to do, which has, sorry, not which, has killed their credibility in my eye. So I'm not going to, many of you already know the story. I've already covered it in a video. And I categorically said in that video that whatever I said in that video was my opinion. And before many of us get emotional and run to react, let us wait and hear from Archewell, get their statement, and make our comments on that. Now, I'm going to first of all start by reading the response to the Archewell statement, which came out yesterday. This response also came out yesterday. I haven't seen it anywhere, but let me quickly read the response, then I'll go to the Archewell statement. Dear James Holt and Shona Knepp, who are currently running the Archewell Foundation, first and foremost, I want to express my gratitude for your support of our Afghan women's sewing group and support circle. The program has had transformative impact. With your resources, the Muslim Women's Coalition led efforts that strengthened mental health, restored purpose, and built community among women who have endured so much. It is in that spirit that I write to express my deep disappointment regarding the Foundation's decision to revoke funding in response to an independent opinion piece. Bear with me, guys. When we go through the whole thing, we will see what that opinion piece was. I authored on Gaza. To suggest that the piece constitutes hate speech or propaganda is at best a profound misrepresentation. Israel's treatments of Palestinians has been described as apartheid by all credible human rights organizations, including Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, as well as some Israeli organizations such as B'Tselem and Yesh Din. These findings are echoed by UN special rapporteurs and legal scholars. Concerns about crimes against humanity and genocide have been widely documented and are grounded in international law. We are unwavering in our commitment to justice, dignity, and human rights for all people, including Palestinians. The article in question was published on the front page of the op-ed section of the multiple Pulitzer Prize-winning Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, Wisconsin's largest circulated newspaper. A newspaper of that caliber does not publish material promoting hate, violence, or propaganda. We live in a time when peaceful advocacy for Palestinian human rights is frequently and unjustly mischaracterized. Criticizing the policies of a government is not anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism is hostility or prejudice towards Jewish peoples and communities, something I unequivocally reject. In fact, Jewish-led organizations like Jewish Voice for Peace have been at the foremost of the protests and encampments I referenced in my opinion piece. To conflate political critique of Zionism with anti-Semitism is not only inaccurate, it undermines the meaning of both concepts. There is painful irony in your withdrawal. Sorry, in your decision to withdraw from Afghan women, many of whom are war survivors, because the leader of a woman's organization dared to speak out against the creation of more war survivors. The people enduring the crisis in Gaza are exactly those your mission claims to support. How can it be against your mission and values to advocate for their safety and dignity? If your foundation stipulates that grant recipients must sit idly by as genocide is broadcast live on their TV screens, then we too regret to inform you that our values do not align. If your foundation believes that calling for the freedom of a people from oppression is hateful, if these people happen to be Palestinian, then we too regret to inform you that our values do not align. I make no apology for standing up for human rights and speaking out against the dehumanization of people, including Palestinians. Bear with me, guys. In the very op-ed in question, I wrote, quote, Jews refuse to have their beautiful faith conflated with the genocidal actions of a racist apartheid government and are actively speaking against Israel. These young Jews believe never again means never again for everyone, not just Jews, unquote. How is that anti-Semitic? Only in a world where definition of anti-Semitism is distorted to silent dissent. Silencing women of color who speak out against injustice perpetuates the very harm your foundation purports to address. Yielding to pressure from Islamophobic and anti-Arab media compromises your credibility and undermines your mission. In choosing PR over principle, you betrayed the communities you claim to uplift. Who you fund is ultimately your decision, but we ask that you retract your defamatory statements and issue a public apology, not to salvage our reputation, which remains pristine, but to salvage yours. With MWC's proven track record driven by Jewish, Muslim, and Christian staff, we are confident that more credible foundations and generous donors will continue to support this vital work. Respectfully, Janan Najib, founder and executive director, Muslim Women's Coalition. Okay, we've heard from her. And like I said, guys, this is a response to Archewell's statement on this matter. So let me quickly go into Archewell's statement. And I've been looking for the Milwaukee article. For whatever reason, I cannot find it, so I could read it out, because I believe in reading directly from source. Hey, Meredith. Okay. You have to bear with me, guys. I am using Meredith because it's not easy clicking between links. I want to just read Archewell's statement and I'll make my point. At the Archewell Foundation, we show up and do good. Our values are an extension of those of our founders, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Our funding and grant support extends to individuals and organizations of all walks of life with varying political views, cultural beliefs, ideologies, and identifications. We do not discriminate. We believe change comes from building bridges. We welcome all. We do not, however, tolerate any form of hate speech, including hate-fueled symbols, language, or imagery, no matter the community it targets. For us, association with the blending of the Star of David with a swastika is impossible to accept. Additional language that calls for the destruction of others, whether explicitly or implicitly, crosses the line. It is not aligned with our values. We are pro-humanity, pro-love, pro-peace, pro-equality. Out of respect for our partners, a responsibility to our donors, and in reflecting with the values of our principles, we make adjustments to our future funding accordingly. We remain deeply committed to our work with Muslim-led organizations and refugee support programs through the Welcome Project and relief efforts in Gaza. Okay, fair enough. Now, for those of you who may not have been following the story, this is what started it. Archewell pulled their funding from this particular charity. Like I said, I've been looking for this specific article. If anybody can forward the link to me, I would love to respond to it. So that, because I'm a big fan of this is why I read directly from source, guys. I'm not going to give you, while I have my opinions, I also want you to make up your own mind, right? Not everything I say you will agree with. That's why I read directly from source, guys. The Milwaukee article I was looking for, if anybody has a link, I can send me an archive link. Please feel free to do so, and I'll respond. But this is what but according to Glow and Lee, this is what I believe Archewell was responding to when they said they do not support organizations that use inflammatory images, no matter whoever the target. So according to this is a pro-Palestinian mural that has the Star of David with a swastika. Right. Okay. Okay, so let's read from the commentary. The owner of the building displaying the mural is Isan Atta, a Palestinian American from Milwaukee, commissioned the art to bring attention to the crisis in Gaza. It draws comparisons to the Holocaust inflicted by Nazis on 6 million Jews. By incorporating the swastika into the Star of David, imposed on images on destruction of Gaza, with the statement, "The irony of becoming what you once hated." The WCJP co-chair Janan Najib, president of Milwaukee Muslim Women's Coalition, said its message is anti-genocide. Okay. Let's look at the other articles here. Now let's go back to what Archewell said. Archewell said an opinion piece is, sorry, not an opinion piece. They spoke about an image, right? Now let's see. Let me quickly hear from this lady because I really do enjoy her takes. Then I'll give you my opinion.
This is for the white tea women of TikTok, and I'm at Meredith Constant because I'm seeing you on Instagram do some very questionable things like hide comments from Sussex Squad members who are merely trying to get you to understand that this situation that's happening is not... Let me start from the beginning. For all of you who think that Harry and Meghan have no right to have their own opinions about anything going on in the world, who are you? Why do you feel like you have ownership over their brains to help them think? I'm going to be honest with you. When it comes to this pro-Palestinian stuff, Americans are very performative. This is a trend for a lot of you. Because I don't see enough of you really hitting the pavement, talking to your political officials, on planes, helping out the people over there who needs help, sending money. Like, I don't see any of this. I see y'all with y'all little scarves on, holding y'all little lattes, free Palestine, while you ignore the Congo and every other subgroup that is also going through genocide right now. Archewell just released a statement that they didn't even have to release. I'm so sick of them having to sue the general public's opinions about how they conduct business. Anybody who knows Harry and Meghan know that they were the first of the royals to help the Muslim community at a time when it was wildly unpopular. Let us go back to the Greenfield situation. Meredith Constant, you did a whole Substack that was even fighting with Camilla Tominey about it because you, of all people, know that she referred to Meghan damn near as a terrorist sympathizer for helping those women after that fire. And you're questioning their loyalty to the Muslim community? Here's my big issue with white tea content creators, mostly women. I'm going to be honest with you. You guys straddle the fence. You're very fucking fake when it comes to Harry and Meghan. 1 minute it's leave them alone. How come y'all don't like them? But when they do something you don't like, you can be objective about it. But why can't you ever see it from their view as well? The statement was very clear. We have the Welcome Project. We work with a wide arrangement of Muslim organizations. We don't agree with what they did. And I 100% agree. I don't care what context that brother or that group is trying to make. You do not show a genocidal symbol from a group of people to make a point. Don't do it at all. Don't do it at all. You guys have become so desensitized to Hitler and all his stuff that he has done because you want to be pro-Palestinian. You're either anti-war or you're pro-war. Because you can't be pro-Palestinian if you're wishing for the genocide of Jewish people. That makes you just as hateful. And you have no... Where's your fucking Substack for Donald Trump, who said that he wants to turn the Gaza Strip into Mar-a-Lago? Where's your fucking Substack? And I'm asking a real question. Maybe it is out here, Meredith. Where is it? Where is your Substack during the elections when he said, I'm going to give Bibi anything he needs to get the job done? What do you think the job was? No smoke for this political official who can stand up on a platform and literally call for the deaths. Oh, and don't even get me started on any student who writes an op-ed or anything like that. Their asses get deported or thrown in jail or snatched up out the street. But you want Harry and Meghan to be the Cape Crusaders of all things pro-Palestinian. That is a trip. That isn't... I'm not even crashing out, y'all. That is some hypocritical shit. You have become everything you accuse the British press of being, Meredith, and women like you. Daily reminder. White teen women are the reason we got fucking Donald Trump, and you all can't protest in the streets. But I'm gonna really need y'all to stop with the performatives and do something. Go donate to that charity, because that charity's running their mouth. They're on their whole PR, the Sussex PR. Retire that fucking word. I am so sick of that PR bullshit. Everything's not PR. People are just out here living and doing. It doesn't need a public relations or whatever the fuck PR stands for them to defend themselves. They made it abundantly clear why they dropped that charity, and if that charity can't handle it, they can fucking kick rocks. Who told you to do that dumb shit to begin with? Go find all of these newfound fans and understanders to donate to your cause. Do it, Meredith. Start a GoFundMe for that charity. I don't want to hear shit else. I don't give a fuck about your Substack. I don't give a fuck about your videos. I don't give a fuck about your Instagram.
Wow. Okay. Jesus. All right, then. I mean... Erica Christine, please follow her on TikTok. I'm on TikTok. I've been looking for her. I can't find her. You have a new follower. Now, this is my view, if I may. My own reaction video is going to be different. Why? Because I think I've already said what I have to say on this. But I'm going to add, now that I have more context. I did say at the beginning, we have to be careful how the media reports anything about Harry and Meghan. Anything. Everything. And I am very disappointed in Meredith Constant and that matter of factly. In fact, I'm going to play a video from her, but from TikTok. I'm very disappointed. You cannot come up here and say that you are a neutral reporter on the media and choose specific things to be subjective about. I think she's deleted it from her comments because I was looking for it. When this issue first kicked off, I think on Thursday, I saw a response from Meredith Constant that I wish I had retweeted or screenshotted because I can't find it anymore. She made a comment about Harry and Meghan not using their capital to help promote something, to help promote good, the Palestinian movement, something like that. She was responding to a member of the squad on that, and I was like, what is someone talking about? I kept it at the back of my mind for this type of reaction, but I can't find that comment anymore. I will still do my digging. If I find it, I will bring it and make a note on it. But Meredith, and I'm looking right at you right now, you disappoint me. Why did you not wait for this response before you started building your narratives? I find it fascinating that you guys come up here and say, I'm not a Meghan supporter or a Harry supporter, I'm neutral. And when it's time for you to be neutral and do your objective and corrective reporting, you allow your emotions to get into it. Doesn't make any sense. And this is why I agree with this lady that I don't trust you anymore. Because to me, that is a true sign of performative support. Nobody is saying you have to support Harry and Meghan. I keep on telling you guys this stuff. Nobody is saying you have to support Harry and Meghan. Nobody is saying you can't criticize them. But the idea that you are on one mouth, understanding how the press generally react to Harry and Meghan, and then when it's time for you to apply that same objectivity, you are not able to do so. And and Erica is right. The reason I let her talk is I am not American. I don't live in America. So I keep on telling people that America needs to keep all of us out of their own interpolitics group chats, because everybody is aware of everything going on in America without having any direct relationship to America. So I liked hearing her thoughts about how Trump and his support of Netanyahu have promised to turn Gaza into Mar-a-Lago, or a form of American Dubai. And yes, she's right to call you out, Meredith. Since you claim to be a media literacy expert, she said she hasn't been on your Substack to see you calling the president out. And I was like, if that is true, that's a fair point. Because you cannot claim that you are pro-Palestine and you don't call out the president for more or less co-signing genocide. But when it's Harry and Meghan, you are quick to skip to Twitter or whatever platform you use to give your so-called objective feedback. It's ridiculous. And I'm sorry, you've lost somebody who actually took you seriously here, because to me, this is just you using the emotions and the engagement around Harry and Meghan to push your narrative. If you cannot be consistent, then you're not worthy of a follow. And I'm not, to her comments about white women, so-called neutral / supporters of Harry and Meghan, I haven't personally been in this fandom, in this group long enough to notice that, so I'm not going to comment, but she clearly has. I will take her comment as on face value, because she probably is aware of instances where this has happened. I also want to call out matter of fact, because I feel like Meredith Constance is an easy target because she's on Twitter and many of us are using Twitter. Matter of fact, I'm going to play her video, then I'll give her, and then I'll give my own feedback. But I guess in summary, this is my thoughts on this matter, right? From a Meredith Constance perspective. If you claim to be a neutral voice and you base your responses on facts, base your responses on facts, your emotional feedback on this whole Palestinian thing, without waiting to hear from the Archewell Foundation to understand exactly why they pulled their support, is a shame to you, frankly. And you should apologize to the squad. Yes, you should. But you know what? Whether you do, whether you don't, that's up to you. I'm no longer a fan. I'm no longer going to be following your content. You have, in my opinion, through this, you have shown yourself, and that level of hypocrisy, I don't have patience for. Now let's have a look at matter of fact. Let me see if I can quickly navigate out. The reason I don't like using my phone for this is obviously you're looking at my phone, and I don't like that. But well, let's go on matter of fact.
Don't be shocked. You're shocked?
Okay, here we go. So, matter of fact...
This is going to be a quick and dirty update video on the situation.
Stop. Matter of fact, I've watched this video, so I'm going to fast forward to the part that she...
Even though it was
she began to
the phrase from the river to the sea. But I have another however to throw at you. Dated April 9th, and it specifically says that Archewell...
There's a comment that I'm going to play directly from the part that pissed me off. So let me just quickly...
And again, they say in the letter that it was from Archewell, who was not asking her about the piece in which she said from the river to the sea.
So I'm going to play this video, and I'm going to... Did you know what? Instead of just... Because I don't want people to come and say, you're not giving her the full opportunity to say the whole thing. This is a 4-minute video. Bear with me. Let her talk. And then now that we've heard the statement from the lady in the Muslim Women's Coalition. We've heard the statement from Archewell. Let's listen to matter of fact. Then I will speak. I will give my commentary.
Thank you so much for your feedback on that video. I really appreciate it. Well, thank you to the people who can distinguish between the nation state of Israel and the Jewish population of the world. That's all I will say on that. There have been a few updates. The Friday news dump got me. Now that both sides have weighed in, I feel like we have a full...
So this is my quick interjection. Why I haven't seen her videos, just this one, because to me there's no point rehashing the whole thing. Let me get to the latest update. Why did you not wait to hear from Archewell before you ran to give your opinion piece, Mata or Amanda, whatever your name is? Why didn't you wait? Let's listen.
Fuller picture of what went on, but also I feel like both sides are trying to get their narrative into the record. Let's get into it.
This is what I told you guys about what she did that pissed me off. Like I said, I won't talk again. Let her finish. Then I'll say what I want to say.
To this. During the day today, Friday, it came out that there may have been another reason for the MMWC to lose funding from Archewell. That involved founder Janan Najib's brother, who apparently created a mural blending the Star of David and the swastika symbol as a call-out of the ongoing humanitarian crisis between Israel and Palestine. I am being intentionally careful with my words, to be clear. So this is being given as the quote-unquote real reason that Archewell cut ties with the MMWC. Because that is, yes, a symbol of hatred, even though it was an action done not by the founder herself, but by her brother. That is the clearest cut example of quote-unquote hate speech that I have seen so far in this situation. However, there was also some excellent reporting by the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel today, which got their hands on the letter that Archewell sent to the women's group. Here it is dated April 9th, and it specifically says that Archewell have been notified of an online opinion piece that Ms. Najib wrote. Not a mural, not a depiction of a hate symbol, an opinion piece. This could have been the opinion piece in which Najib used the phrase "from the river to the sea." But I have another however to throw at you. When Najib was contacted by the Journal Sentinel, she stated that she was contacted by a staffer from Archewell who was not asking her about the piece in which she said "from the river to the sea." Instead, they were notifying her that they were aware of a different opinion piece that she actually wrote for the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. This was about student protesters, and apparently did not even include this so-called inflammatory language. Shout out to my girl Meredith Constant for sending me this letter. It's like buried within a link in the article, but it has been verified. This is what Archewell sent to the MMWC. And again, they say in the letter that it was an online op-ed that is causing them to pull funding. The last piece of the puzzle comes from Archewell, who finally released a statement around 5...
Sorry. Let's go back. Because I wasn't planning on stopping her, but it just clicked. Something just clicked to me now. Let's go back to what Glow and Lee posted, right? What Glow and Lee posted was an op-ed article. And in that op-ed, she called out the symbol of the swastika within the Star of David, which this woman also acknowledged, right? Or she didn't mention that swastika within the Star of David, did she? Wait, did she? I think she did. Let me go back. Sorry.
Of the ongoing humanitarian crisis between Israel and Palestine. I am being intentionally careful with my words, to be clear. So this is being given as the quote-unquote real reason that Archewell cut ties with the MMWC. Because that is, yes, a symbol of hatred, even in the Star of David and the swap to this. During the day today, Friday, it came out that there may have been another reason for the MMWC to lose funding from Archewell. That involved founder Janan Najib's brother, who apparently created a mural blending the Star of David and the swastika symbol as a call-out of the ongoing humanitarian crisis between Israel and Palestine. I am being intentionally careful with my words, to be clear. So this is being given as the quote-unquote real reason that Archewell cut ties with the MMWC. Because that is, yes, a symbol of hatred, even though it was an action done not by the founder herself, but by her brother. That is...
But guys, if you recall what we just saw now, let me quickly take you back to Yeah. Let me go to Glow and Lee's note. Let me see. There it is. This is the mural. A pro-Palestine anti-genocide. Is this not an opinion piece? Isn't this the opinion piece? Right? This is the opinion piece, right? So the mural was used in an opinion piece. And let me see. WCJP co-chair Janine Najib, president of the Milwaukee Muslim Women's Coalition, said its message is anti-genocide. So the mural was by her brother. She acknowledged it, as you can read here, in an opinion piece. So let's go back to TikTok.
The clearest cut example of quote unquote.
What is she talking about? Because I literally just caught that. I was like, wait. Because it seems to me that she's just clinging to the mechanics and the technical terms here, regardless of whether her Archewell was referring to an opinion piece, which they were, according to their own op-ed, to their own letter, which I believe is that article Glow and Lee is referring to. What is she talking about? The mural was used in the article. MCJP Janine Najib, her name is quoted in that article, right? So she did give an opinion piece using what Amanda agrees is a hate symbol, right? So what is the problem? What is the problem? Am I being stupid? What do you guys think? Am I being dumb? Amanda, I don't understand why this is confusing for you. Regardless, the answer is literally staring at you in the face. An opinion piece was written, a hate speech mural was used, and Archewell said, look, based on that opinion piece and your involvement in it, and the hate speech and the hate speech mural, we cannot, in good conscience, keep funding you. C'est la vie. Nothing more to say. There's evidence that nobody is saying that Janine Najib drew the mural. She didn't draw it, but in fact, the fact that it's her brother that did it, and she was able to give an opinion piece on that mural, to me, more than justifies why Archewell did what they did. I mean, justifies it in the sense that their letter is the truth. They're not lying. They're not, because she keeps on doing her hand like this. What does that mean, Amanda? The fuck? Excuse me. So I'm just going to fast forward to the end.
Here as the people who inspired the foundation's values. And this statement, I have so many issues with. I will get out of the way so you can read it. It is so, I'm sorry, it's very preachy. And it doesn't actually give any objective kind of perspective on what went on here. It's very, very like highfalutin is the word I want to use. James Holt and Shauna Knepp are the signatories on this statement. They are also the people who sent the original letter to the MMWC, and they directly reference here a swastika being the issue that they took with the women's group, which does not correspond to the letter that they originally sent or the
No, it does. Sorry.
line of reasoning that has been presented.
Oh my god. Sorry, all of this is just clicking to me right now. Bear with me, I'm a bit slow. This is very effing frustrating. Very, very effing frustrating. Archewell let me recap again. And I'm glad that I presented this the way I did. I started with the women's statement, Janine Najib's response. Started with Archewell, came to that lovely lady Erica Christine's response, and I came to this one, and now I'm just kind of like very irritated. Amanda, this is not about you. This is not your gotcha moment. You are supposed to report the facts. Archewell sent her a letter saying we are pulling our support because you released an op-ed we do not agree with. Glow Lee, Anne, God bless her, has already shared that op-ed with us. In that op-ed, you see the use of a hateful symbol which does not align, which this same woman agrees is a hate speech symbol. So what is the problem? Is it because of the... I don't understand what is confusing you here. The op-ed exists. The symbol exists. Jenny Najib, in her statement, agrees that she released that op-ed. What more do you want? What is the thing that is confusing you here? And what is wrong with their statement? They were very clear, very quick and straight to the point. We do not support or tolerate any form of hate speech. Whatever the reason, whoever is targeted to, whatever your motivation, we don't tolerate it. And we continue to support refugee programs through the Welcome Project and other Muslim-based. Meghan got torn apart for supporting Grenfell. So what are you talking about? And this is what I'm saying, guys. And this is why I get very frustrated. I was, if you recall, literally about a few minutes ago, I was willing to give Christina, if you recall, a few minutes ago, I was like, okay, the comments about white content creators, I'm still new to this. I was trying to be neutral. But to me, this is a very clear example of what Erica was saying. Because you ran and produced other content without waiting for Archewell to give you a specific reason why they pulled their funding. You allowed Miss Najib to drive the narrative without waiting to hear from Archewell, because you people that claim to be objective and media savvy are still falling victim to that BS. And I'm very irritated by this, frankly. Sorry. I should have probably started with this. But yeah, this is a very clear example of a very stupid woman, in my opinion, because now I'm getting angry. I want you guys to let me know your thoughts in the comments. But I guess what I'm going to summarize this whole experience thing in 2 lines. Meredith Constance, you no longer get my support. Matter of fact, you are a dumbass. You no longer get my support. 2 of you are more interested in content than actually doing the thing you said you were going to do, which was objective, neutral reporting. Shame on the both of you. Shame on that Miss Najib woman for using this very sensitive topic as a way to score PR points. You know that op-ed was going to inflame people. You knew that op-ed was going to inflame people. There is no charity today that I think is going to look at that op-ed where you put a swastika in the Star of David and call it your response to your protest, in response to the treatment of Palestinians, that will not call you out and say, look, we're not saying that we don't support you, but we cannot in good conscience also support this. You cannot make this... You can't say you're trying to get support from... You have to understand how to play this game. I'm sorry, because it is a game. You want people to support you. You have to bear in mind that not everybody is comfortable with inflammatory symbols, statements, or publicity. Get the support, but and more importantly, nobody said you shouldn't speak up. The issue Archewell had was with that image, which was in an op-ed that you gave Miss Najib. So why are you acting brand new? Why are you acting that it's a shock and surprise? Honestly, this whole thing is a mess. And I'm very disappointed with the people who I thought would have had a bit more of an objective perspective on this whole matter. To me, they are just a bunch of content creators, click chasers. They are no better than anybody else, and they've just shown their ass. Yeah, sorry for repeating myself so much. It's just that all my thoughts were coming together as she was responding, and it just clicked to me what was going on. Please let me know your thoughts in the chat. I'm going to release a more truncated version responding to this woman. And yeah, thank you guys for your support. Let's talk about this because this is quite important. Take care.